The NFL trade deadline is less than a month away on November 4th. So, of course, as everything does, the rumors start to pick up and pick up and pick up. And ESPN's Adam Schefter, he dropped the Schefty bomb and released his pre-deadline trade candidates. Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. And what does that have to do with the Patriots? Well, 3 Patriots were listed on this list. And these are guys that he thinks that could be shipped away, could be sent off to another team. And honestly, I've talked about these on multiple times on the channel before, but they were just kind of like, hey, they're going in. I think that they're trade candidates. Well, Adam Schefter, he confirmed it and said, yeah, they're kind of looking to move them. The NFL trade deadline is not November 5th. It's November 4th. That is a Tuesday. That is my mistake. And when it's talking about it, good teams, they usually add players, and bad teams usually sell for picks. Like, for example, I think the Dolphins could be looking to trade out everybody, how bad of a team they are. Now, the Patriots, last year, they were sellers, and we saw all the rumors, but they ended up only sending off Uche to the Chiefs. But now that they're a good team, they could be looking to be buyers as well. And when the Patriots do make a move, and if they make a move, we make a video. And if it's a gigantic move, like for a wide receiver, a big wide receiver, we will go live. But if it's just a small move, we'll make a video for you guys. We got you covered here on Patriots Today, so hit that subscribe button right now. Going to get to 2 of these guys just together as a bunch. And the first one, I literally talked about it, a week ago on this channel because I expected him to get traded. And I've been talking about trading Anfernee Jennings for the last 6 months, it feels like. And I put those guys together because they're both edge rushers on this Patriots team. And when you look at Keion White and you look at Anfernee Jennings, but you look at this team as a whole, they don't have much depth at the edge position. So I kind of wonder, why would you trade 2 edge guys or be looking to trade at 2 edge guys? Well, for Keion White, he hasn't played well. He hasn't played well at all. He got his chance a couple weeks ago against the Buffalo Bills when Keion was out, and he just hasn't performed. And he's been on my trade block for weeks, and I mean absolute weeks at a time. Because he was my breakout candidate during the offseason. I figured that he was going to be coming out and having his come-out party. 5.5, 6.5 sacks. But no, that was not it at all. It feels like Keion White has one single move. Bull rush you with his strength. He has no finesse types of moves. And the Patriots have seen that because he's only played 4 games this year. And through 4 games, he only has 23 snaps, 1 tackle, 0 pressures, and 0 sacks. His PFF grade is 59.8. He's bad, and I don't like to call players bad where I really kind of I like the guy, but Keion White hasn't been good, and the Patriots, they could be looking to ship him off. Just get him in a new spot. He's still very, very, very young, and there's teams that were looking for an edge rusher, and they could maybe use him as one of those guys. Now, another guy that became looking for a trade, and surprisingly, has more tackles than Keion White, and that's Anfernee Jennings. And you guys know all about it, how I feel about Anfernee Jennings. Anfernee Jennings is an amazing player when it comes to run defending. He stops the run defense nonstop. Like, no pun intended. But when it comes to rushing the passer, he's bad. You could see almost triple the snaps of Keion White. And still, only 2 tackles, only 1 pressure, 0 sacks, and a less PFF grade. Anfernee Jennings was on my trade block since it was May. I said even he could be a cut candidate. But when you really look at it, do you want to trade either of these guys? Because you don't have a lot of depth. After Keion and Harold Landry, it's Elijah Ponder and a bunch of guys from the practice squad. You can call up Braden Swinson. Hell, they called up Truman Jones last week. But you need more depth at the edge position. I know that they've been relying a lot on that 3 interior defensive linemen with Khyiris Tonga, with Christian Barmore, and Milton Williams. But I made an emphasis on Khyiris Tonga because he has been that breakout guy that he's getting more and more snaps with the 2 other guys. For Keion White and Anfernee Jennings, they've just been absolutely disappointing. I still can't believe Jennings made the roster. But for Keion White, I don't want to see him go. He's worth a lot more than Jennings. I think you could get maybe a 5th-round pick for him, but with how he's playing and how he's completely fallen out of this rotation, Keion White's stock is dropping. It's still more than Anfernee Jennings, but his stock is dropping just more and more and more to a 5th, maybe even a 6th-round pick. Yeah, we'll see if he gets traded, but I have a feeling that he's going to be moved somewhere else. The last guy on my list, and it's another guy we've talked about way too much on the channel, and the Patriots are still doing their best they can to look for a trade, and that's Kyle Dugger. And when you got a safety, and right now, you can't afford to trade for Kyle Dugger because Jalen Hawkins is dealing with a hamstring injury. We have no idea when he's going to come back. He did not practice on Wednesday, but Kyle Dugger, he's played a little bit. 15 tackles, 0 interceptions, 0 pass breakups. He was bad on Sunday. Played the Saints, and what happened? The very, very first play, Chris Olave went off. And the rumors, they just won't go away. We saw it in the offseason, how they were trying to look for a trade candidate. We saw it from Rappaport. We saw it from Andrew Callahan. But they will never go away until the trade deadline. And then once you get to the offseason, that's when his contract's voidable, and you could probably just cut him. And that's what the Patriots are going to do. But Dugger, he had his chance. Jalen Hawkins missed the Saints game, and he was the first one to step in. And did he play well? Nope. Not at all. The first play of the ball game, the very first play, it was, we're going to go deep and go for Chris Olave, who's another trade candidate. And it was a bomb straight to Olave. And who was in coverage? Kyle Dugger. You could see 1 for 1, 53 yards. Defensive grade, 52.3, and a coverage grade of 43.7. It's bad. But you're kind of stuck with him. 4 years, $58 million contract that he signed last year. So nobody wants to take on that price. Nobody wants to take on that contract. And that's why the Patriots are still struggling all this time to get a kind of team to trade with them for. No one wants to deal with that contract in the slightest. So I'll ask you guys, before we get to the other trade rumors that were going on with the Patriots could be buyers. Pick one to trade for. Keion White, Anfernee Jennings, or Kyle Dugger. KW for Keion, AJ for Jennings, or KD for Dugger. Let me know down in the comments section. Coming up, we got more Patriots trade rumors and the return of the dog. If you guys know who I'm talking about. Before we get into that, I got to tell you guys about our sponsor of today's show, and that is Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. You can now follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. How do you play? It takes 2 seconds, people. Whether it's football, we got basketball coming next week. I can't wait. And they're giving a max discount on Steph Curry, so take advantage. But that's all it does. You can create a lineup in less than 30 seconds, but you got to download the app first and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Now, we talked about the Patriots being sellers at the deadline, and those 3 guys specifically from Adam Schefter. Well, we got a little bit of reunion for someone that we saw earlier today, and he has later deleted his entire account. But he was back. Ricky Scoops. And he dropped a bombshell back to back. And the first one, Patriots, been on the phone with teams, are aggressively looking to trade for a wide receiver before the deadline. Sounds like Drake may be getting another weapon. And people might be thinking, well, who the hell is Ricky Scoops? And what does this random dog know about anything about the NFL? Well, he's very credible. He was on this first. The Packers have a trade at the table with the Cowboys for Micah Parsons. Nobody believed him. Well, he was right. And then about 10 days before that, he said, hey, spooky season's coming. McLaurin will be getting a new deal worth $30 million per year. What happened about 2 weeks later, about a week later? Terry McLaurin got a new deal. Yeah. And then to put it into all perspective, this was June 4th. This was before Rodgers signed with Pittsburgh. He confirmed it. He was right on 3 straight. He was also right on Jalen Ramsey getting traded. But then what does that have to do with the Patriots, and what wide receiver could you be seeing? Well, I'm not joking. 30 seconds before he traded about the Patriots could be looking for a wide receiver, he tweeted this out. Sounds like the Raiders wide receiver Jakobi Meyers is being traded out of town, won't be in silver and black much longer. So that had me thinking, well, the Patriots could be trading for Jakobi Meyers. We know about that rumor about the swap between him and Kyle Duggar. But he also tweeted out something else, and this was a little bit later, and it sounds like the Saints are open to trading Chris Olave. They weren't willing to move him in the offseason, but that stance has changed, and the team is now listening to trade calls. And then he deleted his account. He said, oh, well, I'll see you guys in a little bit. So we'll probably see him back sooner or later. But I trust Ricky Scoops. And then about 45 minutes after, when Mike Vrabel was doing his Wednesday press conference, they asked him. They said, what do you think about the team and going up for a trade? And he said, well, the team's record doesn't have a bearing on how aggressive the team will be at the trade deadline. And Vrabel's exact quote was, just continue and try to strengthen the roster each and every single day. So that tells me that, the Patriots are going to be trying to be buyers at the trade deadline, trying to make a trade. And the Patriots, we know all about it. They need a deep threat wide receiver. They need someone who can take the top off the defense. And you might be thinking, well, Brett, you have one. Keion Booty's been really good. I like Keion Booty. He's your middle of the kind of field pack. He's your middle of the field type of guy. Stephon Diggs, he is not your deep threat, and he's your top wide receiver, and then Matt Collins is just average. He's your red zone target. You need someone who can take the top off the defense. Why? Because Drake May is playing incredible when throwing the ball deep. Look at this stat. This is the number one player in the NFL when passing 20 air yards or more. When you're throwing the ball deep downfield, Drake May has a completion percentage of 71.4. Second is Sam Darnold. The NFL average, you can see right there on your screen, is 40.3. That's how good Drake May is at throwing the ball deep. And the Patriots don't do it that much because they do not have someone to throw the ball deep. So you could go after a wide receiver like a Chris Olave. Is Jakobi Meyers that guy? I don't really think so. So I think that could have all been noise. I think Ricky just could be saying some other team. We don't know. But the Patriots, we do know that they want a deep threat. And you just got to look at Olave. The very first play was a 53-yard bomb, which he caught. So you know he could take the top off the defense. So that could be someone the Patriots are eyeing on. But me personally, with how the wide receivers are and how good the Patriots offense has been clicking, if you're going to make a trade for a wide receiver, you have to make a big, big splash. Not like we're going to trade for Jakobi Meyers to bring him back. Doesn't make any sense. Does not make any sense. You do not need someone that's going to go 9 yards down the field, stop and catch a pass. You have Stephon Diggs to do that. You have Pop Douglas to do that. Keion Booty can do that, and so can Matt Collins. You do not need that. You need someone that's going to go off. Because if you look at Jakobi Meyers, 87 catches, 1,000 yards. I want more than that. I want 70 catches for 1,100 yards. Jakobi Meyers is your slot guy. You already have a slot guy in Stephon Diggs. You do not need someone like him. It would be nice to bring him back and be another weapon, but I want to go big. And the only guy I'm looking at is A.J. Brown, and that's just not happening in season. So me personally, I'm looking for a running back. I'm looking at someone who can help this Patriots roster because with Ramondre Stevenson rushing for 1.7 yards per carry against the Saints was pathetic, and I still think TreVeyon Henderson still has a lot to learn. So I'm going for a running back. Who would that be? Time will tell. I don't think it's going to be Breece Hall. He's in division, but you got Jerome Ford, you got Dameon Pierce out there. You could be looking at someone else, even maybe an Alvin Kamara. We'll see what happens. We're 3 weeks away from the trade deadline, and the trade rumors are only going to spike. So I'll ask you guys before we get on out of here, who would you rather trade for? Would you rather have a wide receiver, or would you rather trade for a running back? Give me a WR for wide receiver, or give me an RB for running back. That's going to do it for today's episode of Patriots Today by Chat Sports. If you want to keep the conversation going, as we always do, my DMs are open. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on Instagram @TheRealAlper. And as always, let's go Pats.